I wanted to talk a little bit about building the new earth. And I was thinking about all the things that people have said about maybe their image of the new earth, what they feel like the new earth will be like, what they would like to create in a form of the new earth in their reality. And a lot of that has to do with people talking about maybe the infrastructure of, the way that the cities might look, and the natural living and cleaning up the planet and environmental things and the way our food is grown, the way that we involve ourselves with fabrics and clothing and the products that we use and all of those things, the way that maybe buildings are built and streets are done. And so people get this image in their mind about what it should look like, what they want it to look like, and maybe what it will feel like, what it will sound like, what it will smell like, the tastes of things and foods that they experience in the new earth. And these are all good. There's nothing wrong with imagining what it will be like and what you want. That is helpful in the creation of what it is that you would like to see when we're talking about the new earth. But the thing that I'm interested in, the thing that will hold the foundation for new earth living and the actual physical reality of the new earth, actually comes from within, from the individual. So rather than thinking about what we can build, what we can make, and what we can change, which again are all good things, turning the focus inward about how can I, as an individual person, create the new earth as an energetic structure within my own field, within my body, within my life system. Many people are and will be called to do things externally to create a different reality, to create this new earth that the majority of us, at least, want. This collective, connected, non-divided, whole being in what many are calling the new earth. Some call it the kingdom of heaven. It doesn't matter what you call it, but this new way of being on earth. And all of us are going to need to tend to the internal new earth, the building of the new earth energy structures within the patterns of our own field, of our own body. As I just said, repeating myself. So what we're going to need to sustain the actual physical manifestation of the new earth in reality, the thing that we experience with our hands, with our smell, with our taste, with our sight, with our hearing, is the internal state of what we bring here into this reality, of how we are living internally first, foremost. That is the thing that will sustain new earth living externally in physical reality. And so what does that mean? What does that look like for us to embody the new earth energy within our own self as an individual first? That looks like however you feel connected and contacting and in communion with the divine, whether you call it God or the universe or the spirit, whatever it is that you call the greater us, the greater you, the higher aspect, the all that is, that practicing that connection internally. And now these are just words, so we're never disconnected. It's just an apparent illusion in our mind that we are disconnected. But whatever practice, whether it's meditation or yoga or journaling or music or being in nature, whatever gets you most into that knowing of your connectedness to the whole, do that. Do more of that. Because in that state, you will find more of that foundational structure and stability to be able to sustain outward actions and creations that help assist the new earth come into physical reality. So that is one thing. And as we go forward and as we as we allow for the new earth energy to arise within us as individuals, what is needed is awakening. And I feel like maybe this should have been the first thing, but in any case, awakening to who you truly are, awakening to what it means to be one, to be whole. And this process is not a process of finding or getting or changing or fixing. It is literally a process of subtraction of all of the things that you identify as yourself, which are not you, the belief systems that you have that are aside from truth, the ways of behaving that do not directly reflect you, the spirit you, the eternal you, the identity structures that you have that keep trauma and bondage and darkness alive in you. That is awakening to the truth of who you are, awakening to the truth of reality. The new earth in physical manifestation is a direct representation of how we as individuals are able to live. That is why it is most important to first and foremost build that solid structure and that solid foundation within the self first. Because you can be completely dysregulated within your body and within your energy patterns, your own field. You can be very spiritually blinded and asleep. You can be unhealed and still structurally try to build things outside of yourself to kind of make the new earth happen. And that is unsustainable. Things that build the new earth in physical reality are done first at an energetic level in a way that is not forceful or in a hurry or born out of fear or anger or rage or depression or anxiety or a feeling of judgment about the world around us. Those are all things of the identity structure that cause us to feel and get into a space of non-acceptance of what is. And that state kind of deteriorates the foundation of what is needed to build the new earth in physical reality. It can last for a short time. You can see this in ways where when people create businesses or communities or try to change things in their neighborhood or start a program or something of that nature, maybe building things or creating things, if it is created out of a state of internal feeling of lack or resistance to what is, that same force and that same pushing and grasping that you've used to establish the business, the program, the building, the community, the creative endeavor, that same energy, that same force, that same grasping used to create those things is going to have to be used to sustain it and maintain it. And as the energy is shifting now on this planet, and as herself, Mother Earth, is creating a change for herself, moving into fourth density, what we used to be able to sustain and maintain in a more forceful or go-get-it attitude, or the hustle culture attitude, or the grind attitude, those things will not be able to be sustained and maintained in the same way. Because force, grind, pushing, efforting are all things from the old world. And those things are what we don't want for the new earth. And they are going to become increasingly more and more difficult to sustain that way, to where the things you used to be able to do with willpower and grit and force and stamina, you're no longer going to be able to do that. The way of being of that is going to become more and more challenging, causing more and more stress, trauma, even degradation to the physical body, disintegrations of patterns within your own field, because that energy, those patterns, are not the thing that creates the new earth. And because our mother, our earth, our beautiful planet, having her own consciousness and her own desire and her own preferences as she moves forward into what it is that she desires, a new way of living upon the surface of her, and because we live upon her, and because she nourishes us and feeds us, we must come into alignment with that energy, those patterns. So what we are all seeing now, what many of us are feeling right now, all the shitstorm that is before us, that we are seeing, as much as the mind would like to believe it, things are not getting worse. They are being uncovered. And the things that used to uphold these things are dissolving and breaking down. The structures, the patterns, the ways of being are breaking down. And people are trying really hard to continue to hold those structures, those patterns, those ways of being with the old energy And it's becoming more and more challenging to do so. It's why truth is unveiling lies that have been there, things that have been programmed and patterned into the behavior of our culture, our communities are being seen for what they truly are. We are being asked to look at what is unsustainable and what cannot be maintained with this old patterning, this old energy, this heavy, forceful, do it with grit, willpower type of activity. That is no longer going to be part of the show. In fact, it's not going to be a show or a program any longer. It is time to wake up from the program, from the show, from what you have been told, from what you believe. And it is now time to wake up into the embodiment of new earth energy within your physical and your non-physical structure. There is so much more here. There is so much more about this topic. There is so much more than simply connecting or remembering your connection to God, the One, the universe, spirit. There is so much more to this awakening process. So right in this moment, I'm feeling like maybe a good next movement in this video is to just have you take a moment and close your eyes. Invite what it means to fully awaken to yourself, to reality, to new earth living. And instead of imagining it outside of yourself in the world around you, feel it. Feel inside of your body freedom, peace, joy, sustainability, purity, clarity, and not your mind's perception of what these words have meant to you in the past, but the actual embodiment, the sensation, the feeling of them when you let all other things drop away. Dropping away the belief of what new earth must look like, dropping away the belief that you are forever stuck, dropping away any identity that you hold on to about yourself as an individual, and just know. Practice the knowing of the new earth inside of your body, and let that emanate from you. And then, as it emanates from you and it fills you, your next steps and purpose becomes clear. Without striving, without forcing, without willpower and making things happen. And then your purpose connected to new earth and how you manifest that through your body as an individual will become apparent instead of having to try to find it or dig for it, because it is always present within. It is something you can't help being, because it is the natural state of who you are. New earth living as the natural state of who you are. So, that's what I got for you today. May every part of you remember exactly who you are.